Nation. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you're connecting from. You're welcome to today's live stream. Confirm you can hear me loud and clear. Drop a comment if you can hear me loud and clear. Drop a comment, drop a comment. You can hear me loud and clear. Please drop a comment. All the way up. You are welcome to today's live stream. Hope you're prepared for this week's business. Hope you're prepared for this week's business. If you can hear me loud and clear, please drop a comment. I need to be sure you guys can hear me. You can start dropping your questions. If you have any question, if there's any pair you want me to analyze, let me know in the comment section. Can you hear me? 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 I'm waiting for your response. Can you guys hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Okay, I want to believe you can hear me. Let's go straight to business. Okay, so we'll start by looking at the calendar for this week. This week will be a very volatile week. We've got a lot of major news that will be released for the different currencies. Okay, it will be a very volatile week. So you've got to be very careful this week. Careful this week. You have to be very conservative this week. Don't go hard this week. If you do, you could go home. Okay, don't go hard this week. We've got a lot of major news. This week is NFP week, so you've got to be very careful. Okay. Focus on your A plus setup this week. Focus on your A plus setup this week. So today is Monday. By 4 p.m., the United States will be releasing its ISM manufacturing PMI. Okay. And tomorrow, Tuesday, Australia will be releasing its cash rates and also the monetary policy statement and rate statement will be released tomorrow. Also, there will be a conference. They'll be having their press conference tomorrow by 5:30 a.m. and by 4 p.m. the United States will be releasing its job openings data. And by 10:45 p.m. Nigerian time, New Zealand will be releasing its employment change and unemployment rate. Then on Wednesday, United States will be releasing its ADP non-farm employment change and ISM services PMI. Thursday also, Great Britain will be releasing its monetary policy reports. And the Bank of England Governor Bailey will be speaking by 1:30 p.m. So you should expect high volatility on Great Britain pounds on Thursday. And Euro will be releasing its main refinancing rates, monetary policy statements, and the United States will be releasing its unemployment claims. There would also be a press conference in Europe. Europe Central Bank would have its press conference on Thursday. Then CAD also, Bank of Canada Governor Macklem will be speaking by 6:25 p.m. on Thursday. Then 11:30 Australia, the Governor Bullock will be speaking. Okay. Then on Friday, the day for NFP. NFP will be released on Friday. CAD will be releasing its employment change, unemployment rate, then United States will be releasing average hourly earnings, non-farm employment change, unemployment rate, consumer sentiment, and inflation expectations. So we should expect so much on Friday. The volatility will be something else. The volatility will be something else. This week, focus on your A plus setup. So that will be it for the sorry for that break. Sorry for that break. It's due to bad network. It's due to bad network. Okay, I'm back. I'm back. Confirm you can hear me. Confirm you can hear me. So on yen baskets, Look at the weekly. Yes, last week candle closed like a shooting star, right? Like a shooting star, a strong reversal pattern, strong reversal pattern. Let's see how the last daily candle for last week closed. So this was Friday candle. It closed as was a bearish candle. So today they have swept the liquidity, residing at the low of last week candle. They have swept liquidity residing at the low of last week candle. So I think JPY, though bearish long term, it's gold or buy. Okay. Okay, so let's see 1 hour. Okay, so I expect with what we have here on the 1 hour time frame, you can see that the shift in market structure has occurred at this point. The shift in market structure occurred at this point, this high. Okay, shift in market structure occurred at this point, and price I think has pulled back to a discount area. No, I think price has pulled back from this swing low to this swing high. You can see price has pulled back to a discount area. Price has put back to a discount area. So with what I'm seeing on yen basket, with the pattern I'm seeing, yen basket is likely going to sweep the liquidity residing at this high. And also, I think we have a fair value gap here that it might want to fill. Okay, so this is where I will be looking for sales on yen basket. So yen is likely coming to fill this fair value gap. Okay, so today my bias for yen is bullish. My bias for yen is bullish for today's market. My bias for yen is bullish. So long term, this week we'll have more sales on yen basket. But for today's market, I'd rather look for buy than sell. I'd rather look for buy than sell. That's my take for yen for today's market. The XY dollar index. Okay, so let's start with the weekly on the dollar index. So you can see what has played out on dollar index. You see how last week candle closed. This is an AMA. This is an AMA candle. A strong bullish reversal pattern. AMA is a very strong bullish reversal pattern. And that AMA formed after the liquidity residing at this previous low has been swept. These lows, they swept the liquidity residing at this relative equal lows. That was what they achieved last week. And you know how price moves? Price moves from external range liquidity to internal range liquidity. External range liquidity to internal range liquidity. So they've taken out the external range liquidity. We want to see price pull back to a premium area or pull back to a fair value gap and imbalance before we look for sales. So dollar is bullish for the week. Dollar is bullish for the week. Okay, that's my take for the dollar. For the week, dollar is bullish, but we might see like what we have on daily time frame. If you go to lower time frame, you would be able to identify fair value gap. Okay, so it might retrace back, it might sell. You can see what they've achieved this morning. They've swept liquidity residing at this high. They've swept liquidity residing at this high. So price is likely going to reverse to a discount area. So I would love to see dollar pull back to this fair value gap. There's a tiny fair value gap here. Okay, I would love to see it pull back to this resistance zone support, this zone. Okay, or this zone, this fair value gap here. This is where I will be considering going bullish for the dollar this week. This is where I will be considering this zone or this zone. This is where I'll be considering going bullish on the dollar this week. Okay, so my bias for the dollar this week is bullish. My bias for the yen this week is bearish. I hope that is clear. If there's any pair you want me to analyze, let me know in the comment section. If you have any question, drop it in the comment section. Okay. So let's go to currency pairs. Yeah. So GBP USD, as you can see, bias is bearish. Bias is bearish. Price is at discount. Okay, when price at discount, we want to see a going to go up, but the bias is bearish. So we need to wait for price to pull back up before we sell. So if you want to sell GBP USD, wait for price to pull back to your entry level 1 or entry level 2. This is the zone you should be considering looking for your sells. This is the zone you should be considering. Okay, this is the zone you should be considering looking for your sells. I hope that is clear. I hope that is clear. So let's just start. Okay, so you can see the candlestick, last week candlestick. You can see this is a strong bearish reversal pattern. This is a shooting star. This is what a shooting star, a strong bearish reversal pattern. Then if you go to daily, what do we have on the daily also? We have a strong reversal pattern here. This is an hanging man. This is an hanging man. And after the formation of this hanging man on the daily time frame, you can see that price dropped. You can see price Euro or GBP USD sold after the formation of this. I made so much profits trading this setup because the signal generated the sell opportunity after the formation of this candle. That was when this software generated the signal for us to sell. And I caused the sell and I made so much profit on GBP USD last week. I caught this bearish move on GBP USD. Okay, so you can see weekly is bearish, daily is bearish, and on 4-hour also, what we have here is bearish. This is a bearish setup. If you look at what structure has been forming here, you can see that the structure is what? This is a bearish structure. It's been forming series of lower high and lower low. Okay, it's been forming series. Wall network, sorry for the break. Okay, let's go back to the charts. So that is it for GBP USA. For those of you that have the software, patiently wait for price. Okay, don't chase price. Don't chase price. Patiently wait for price to pull back to this zone. Yes, you could sell from this point, but like I told you guys, your focus should be on reducing risk and maximizing profits. If you sell from this point, you'll still make money, but your stop loss will be at this point. You can see if you sell from this point, your stop loss will be at this point. So the risk is 178 pips. I'm sure you don't want to take such risk. I'm sure you don't want to take such risk. That's why I advise wait for price to pull back to this area so that once it pulls back to this area and you are setting your stop loss here, this is about 80 pips instead of risking 100 and something pips on the trade. You can see. So patiently wait. Don't be in a rush. Don't be in a rush. Wait for the right time and the right price to place the trade. So that's it for GBP USD. Euro USD also positively correlated with GBP USD. So you can see the bias is bearish. I also caused this move on GU. So you can see Euro USD closed strongly bearish. You can see the reversal pattern. Strongly bearish last week, strongly bearish. They swept the liquidity residing at this previous high. That was what they achieved last week. That was what they achieved last week. Okay, and after that shooting star, you can see here also we had a strong bearish reversal pattern on the daily time frame, and I caught this move on Euro USD. The software generated the signal for sell after the formation of this bearish candle. That was when the signal generated the signal for sell. and I caught that sell and I made good profits on Euro USD. And you can see right now price is at discount. Price is at discount. So we want to see price pull back to our entry levels before we sell. This is the zone we'll be looking for sales. For those of you trade fair value gaps, you go to lower time frame, you can see we have a fair value gap here. You can see this fair value gap, which is in confluence with our zone. If you go to 1 hour, let's see what we have on 1 hour. Okay, so you can see on 1 hour, shifting market structure has occurred at this point. After the swept liquidity resetting at this relative equal high, there was a shifting market structure at this point. And after a shifting market structure, we want to see price pull back to a premium area. Okay, so patiently wait for price to pull back to a premium area before you look for your sales. Patiently wait for price to pull back to this zone before you look for sales. So Euro USD is bearish, GBP USD is bearish, USD JPY is bullish. The bias for USD JPY is bullish, but we want to see price pull back. You can see our entry level. This is where you should be looking for sales, for buys. Okay, for buys. Wait for price to pull back to entry level 1 or entry level 2 before you buy. Patiently wait for that to happen before you take a buy. Is that clear? That is it for USD JPY. So let's see what we have on the weekly time frame. Weekly, you can see strong bullish reversal pattern. This is an hammer on a weekly time frame. It's an hammer on a weekly time frame, means you should look for buys this week. Don't trade against the trend. And on the daily also, we have a strong bullish reversal pattern here. And I also caught this move on UJ last week. I bought UJ after the formation of this candle. It gave us a bullish bias for us to buy, and we took that buy and we made good profits on UJ. So we want to see a reversal before we join the bullish trend. Okay, this won't be the right time to buy because price is at a premium area right now. Okay, so that's it on UJ. We are still bullish on UJ. If you have any question, please let me know in the comment section. If there's any pair you want me to analyze, let me know in the comment section. So let's look at gold. Gold has been bearish. You can see gold has been bearish. Gold generated a signal after the close of this candle. That was when it gave us the signal to sell. Okay, so we sold, made good profits. Right now, gold is, as far as I'm concerned, is oversold. So we want to see a reversal. If you joined the class last week, I told you guys gold is coming for this resistance zone support. I told you guys last week that gold is coming for this resistance zone support. Okay, gold is coming for this resistance zone support. Okay, so that was what it did this morning. For those of you that had class with yesterday, I shared this with you guys that gold is coming. This gap that it opened, that it created several weeks ago, I think 2 weeks ago, this opening gap is going to come late, and I told you it's likely also going to come and test this resistance zone support, and that's what has played out today. So at the moment, gold is likely going to pull back, but I still believe gold is bearish. Gold is bearish, but it's still going to reverse back before continue with itself. That's my take on gold. Gold is still bearish. It is still bearish. So I think that will be all for today's session. If there are no questions, for those of you who are here to get the software, if you're interested in getting the software, send me a message on WhatsApp. The price has increased from $30 to $50 2-month subscription. Last month, it was $30 for 2-month subscription. And for those who are my private students, it was $20 this month. For you to get it, to get 2 months subscription as my student, you have to pay $40, and for others it is $50. It is $50. So if you're interested, send me a message on WhatsApp. And for the first two persons to send their request, first two persons for today, I'm going to give them access to the software at the old rate. Okay, just first two persons to send their request today, they would access it at the old rate, which is $20 for my students, $20 for my students, and for others is $30. But today only, and that will be the first two requests. Okay, so any question, any question, any question, any question? Any question, any question, any question? You have any question? Like I said, the software was created for those who are still struggling, to define the market bias. You don't know where to set your stop loss. You don't know where to set your take profits. You are too busy to sit down and analyze the market. Those are the people the software was created for. If you are doing well with your current strategy, you are making profits, you don't need this software. You don't need this software. If you're doing well currently with your strategy, you don't need it. I created this system for new traders and struggling traders. If you are doing well, just stick to what is working for you. Stick to what is working for you. Keep using that system that is working for you. You don't need the strategy, okay? You don't need the software. But if you think it's something you want to be using as a confluence with what you're currently trading with, then go ahead and get it. Okay, go ahead and get it. But if you are doing well, you are not a struggling trader, you are not a new trader, you don't need it. Any question, any question, any question? If you're here to give the video a thumbs up, please do. Please do. Is there any other pair you want me to analyze? Let me know. I had plans to buy Euro Aussie today, but Euro Aussie didn't wait for me. Immediately the market opened, they started buying. I missed the move on Euro Aussie. So right now I'm waiting for price to reverse. I want to see a strong reversal, okay, before I will take a buy. My bias for Euro Aussie this week is bullish, but I want to see a strong reversal. Hopefully, price should pull back to entry level 1. Price should pull back to entry level 1. This would be a very good area or level to consider by Euro Aussie. Okay, for GJ, let's look at GJ. GJ also is bullish this week. You can see the bias. It's bullish this week. Our focus, for those of you using the software, our focus this week on GJ is buy. You can see last week candle closed as an hammer. It closed as an hammer. You can see strong bullish reversal pattern. So there's a high probability that GJ might come sweep this high this week. GJ might come sweep this high this week. So we need to wait for a strong reversal. Okay, let's wait for a strong reversal before we buy. It actually did a strong reversal this morning, because from the high of this candle to the low of this candle, you can see that is close to the daily ATR value. You can see it is close to the daily ATR value. This is a strong reversal on GJ. This is a strong reversal on GJ. Okay, so after the formation of this candle, if you go down to 1 hour, okay, if you go down to 1 hour, 15 minutes time frame, okay, so you should wait for price. You can see this fair value gap here. This fair value gap that was created here. There was an attempt to fill that gap at this point. They didn't fill that gap. You can see they didn't fill that gap. They intentionally did not fill this gap. They intentionally did not fill this gap. So after the formation of this hammer, because they want to create liquidity, after the formation of this hammer, the normal retail traders would have executed buy, and their stop loss will be at this low. Their stop loss will be at this low. So if you want to buy GJ, for those of you using the software, wait for price to pull back to entry level 1 or entry level 2. There's a high probability they will sweep this low, and that is likely going to play out in New York session. They intentionally did not fill this gap. Okay, so wait for price to pull back to this zone and ensure this liquidity reside at this place swept before you buy. Okay, so that's it for GJ. So I think that will be all for this session. If there are no questions, You have any question, the next 3 minutes, drop it. So end the session by 10:35. 10:35. So if you have any question or any pair you want me to analyze, let me know. Any question, any pair you want me to analyze, let me know. Okay, so it appears there are no questions. I want to appreciate every one of you for your participation, and I wish you all a profitable trading week. Like I said, this week will be very volatile and should be very careful. You should be very conservative this week. Don't go hard, don't over leverage. Every trade you execute, ensure that you have your stop in place. Ensure you have your stop in place. If you execute a trade without stops, you are a gambler. You are gambling in the market, and as a gambler, you can never win. You keep losing money to the market. You keep losing money. So ensure you apply proper risk and money management. Bye for now.